So welcome back everybody, my name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. And if this is your first time visiting the channel and you like the content, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. So in today's videos you can see we're inside an extremely hot shop down here in Florida and we're going to put together a new product and do some testing. I've been very excited about receiving this. So Xtool, which is a maker of many different types of lasering products, reached out to me a while back and said, "Would I'd like to try the Xtool D1 and something I'm extremely excited about, their new RA2 rotary." This is probably the most impressive rotary I've ever seen. So the reason I'm excited about both these products is the laser itself is twice as powerful as the one that I currently own. It's a true 10 watts of output. And they've done something quite neat here. They've taken two 5-watt laser modules and actually reflected one down into the beam of the other without getting too technical to double the output of the laser itself to 10 watts. That should open up a whole new door for better etching, cutting, you name it. Now the RA2 is the first chuck style rotary that I have personally seen. So you can take odd items with handles, cylindrical shapes, you name it, and you can actually rotary and engrave those. Really looking forward to doing that. So we're gonna pop this together. I don't go over specs too much in my videos and unboxings. We wanna see the thing work. So we're gonna do quite a bit of work in here today, testing it on different products. I'm really curious to see if it can etch metal because my last laser just really lacks the power to be able to do that. And we're gonna play with a few different things here. So let me get this stuff unboxed. We'll probably speed that process up, then we'll slow it back down and start showing this thing in actual use because that's what we all really want to see. I have so many ideas, designs, projects, furniture, decor for the house, all kinds of stuff that I plan on using our lasers for. You've already seen that I've done some of that stuff around the house as well and around the property. So we really do have some good uses for this. So I don't usually go over unboxings much, but one thing I really wanted to talk about with this, I am extremely, and I mean extremely impressed with the size of the carton this comes in and how well it's packaged. I always enjoy seeing products that are very well packaged and taken care of. There shouldn't be any damage here. That's worth noting. And it comes with a very nice, very thick manual here to go over assembly, all different other kinds of information. Wow, very, very well packaged. So one thing I'm already liking about this compared to other lasers that I've tested, it already comes very well assembled. Belt's already on, the motor's already installed, so it looks like there's gonna be a lot less assembly here than I'm used to. And this here is our laser module. So quite a bit larger than the one that I already have, but again, this is 10 watts, really excited about that. All right, so that took me roughly 30 minutes to put this together and I was really taking my time. Assembly went great, much easier than any laser I've ever had before. So I plugged it right up to my computer. I went to Xtool's website, downloaded some of their software, checked some of their settings, and I've been playing with it just a little. Now Xtool offers a very basic software and it's actually called Laser Box Basic is what I downloaded on their website. And it is excellent for beginners. There's not a whole lot of settings, nothing to really get wrong. If you just want to start figuring this out, I highly suggest their software. And one thing I loved about it is it had a drop-down menu for the types of materials that you're engraving. Now me personally, I like the Lightburn software. It's made just for doing this. It's a much more intuitive software, a lot more settings. It can be, I guess, a little hard to understand at first, just like any software that really has a lot going on. But if you'll go watch a few tutorials on YouTube, you can learn it quickly. I've still got so much to learn with it, but I'm already comfortable enough now I can throw a project in it and get to work on a machine. Now, as far as this machine goes, you can see it shoots crosshairs down to help you with alignment. That's something I've never had on a laser before, so that's kind of neat. And one other thing that I really love about this laser, it has a drop-down kickstand, as everybody calls it, on the side, because a diode laser is critical that you get your spacing correctly. So there's a little loosen nut over here on the side. Now I can raise and lower the laser So you drop it down, that kickstand down to the material. As soon as it touches, well, you lock your laser down. Now you have the perfect height. Because this is a focused beam laser, it is critical that it's always the same exact distance from your work surface. The other thing that I thought was pretty neat with this, assembly was awesome. Again, the belts were already in, everything was good, and I'm noticing some really nice features here. One, everything's enclosed, which I really like. There's really nothing to catch on anything under your belts. I'm noticing what looks like stainless drive rods, stainless rollers, what all this runs on basically. That looks like that'll last, no plastic, nothing to wear out. And there's very easy adjustments in the end right here for belt tension. That's kind of a neat feature too, I like that. So let's go ahead and start with some basic projects, and we'll go ahead and work through quite a bit of material. So we'll set this up and use it as if you're just bought this for yourself. You're a beginner here. I'm still consider myself a beginner as well. And we'll kind of see what this will do with quite a bit of material. I'm very curious about cutting, being this is such a powerful laser compared to what I've had. So again, excuse this messy workshop and this fan running. It is already about 100 degrees in here. It's gotten really hot. So I'm gonna drag my image into Lightburn. We have a new logo we're working on for the channel. I'll drop it in here. Now this is not gonna be a Lightburn tutorial. There's plenty of those on YouTube. But what I can do, there is a button. It's almost like a GPS button is what I call it in Lightburn. And you can see the laser just moved. I went and found the center of my image and dropped that there. So now I know exactly where this laser is pointing down. I need to move the center of my workpiece there. I've already done sized my image as well to fit on this piece that's 2 inches tall by 3 inches wide. And it's just some like 3mm basswood, I think is what it is. Now, if this is your first laser, it gets a little frustrating trying to figure out what's the settings I need to put in, what's the speed and the laser power, because both of those are adjustable and they change for all different types of material. So one thing I loved about this very nice manual is it even has a section for cutting and for engraving and starts giving you some good information on some basic settings on where to start. Now, with any project, you need to start on a scrap piece is what I recommend, and then adjust your settings accordingly. Do you need to speed up? Do you need to slow down? You need to turn the laser up, turn it down. For cutting, for example, or engraving, you'll get a lighter shade or darker grade. Those things just take time to learn, and every single material is different. Now, the reason I chose this logo is I'm shrinking it down and it's extremely detailed. There's a ton of detail in that tree, tiny little bit of writing, and I want to show you how detailed these lasers are. Then we'll move into some other stuff. So I should mention, anytime you use these lasers, there's laser safety glasses that come with them. You need to wear those. One bad reflection of this laser can damage your eye for life. Here we go. All right, so we are done. And I can see I still need to play with the settings a lot, but that is a very small card to be so detailed. There is so much texture going on in that tree that it's crazy. Maybe I can get my camera to focus. And look, I mean, it's doing tiny little words. That's quite detailed. And I was running it extremely fast. If I were to slow down and drop the power setting, I could get far more crisp than that. Now, something I want to try, this looks like about 3mm wood here. Let's see if we can put a circle around this, although I'm not really lined up to do this. Let's see if we can cut through and cut this out. I've never really had a laser powerful enough to do clean cutting. So let's see. So I'm going to refer to the manual here for cutting. And looks like we got 3mm wood here. It's saying 300mm a minute at 100% power. And I only need one pass. So let's try that. Now I do want to lift the wood up before we try this. I did not get their honeycomb grill. It's an actual raised attachment, so it holes all in it. It looks like a honeycomb, and it's made just for cutting. I definitely need to get that if I'm gonna do any more cutting. Now the laser can cut all the way through. The smoke, the fumes, everything else can escape having that elevated up. All right, I already know I did not set this logo up properly for cutting, so I'm gonna wind up cutting off of the wood for a little. That's okay. I just want to see if it'll actually cut through this. We're playing around right now and learning our new machine. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can cut through. Well, the good news is I see smoke coming out the underneath side. So this may already be working, and that's going a lot faster than I was thinking. I've got to get me one of these honeycomb grills for this. Look at there, awesome. That was way quicker than I was thinking. Look at that cut. So check that out. So a nice clean cut there. So now you can kind of see where you can go with one of these machines. You could cut out little emblems or logos or letters. Let's cut a quick letter out. I could see where a lot of people would want to use one of these to cut letters out, to glue onto something and make raised lettering. Check that out. So not only can you cut through a piece of wood and make a letter, you can cut the letter itself out, and you can change that font and size as well. Now that's pretty cool, and this laser is powerful enough. This is only 3mm. It claims it can cut through 10mm in one pass. So to give you an idea, that is 9mm thick right there if this was to be laminated plywood. So it says it can cut a little thicker than that. All right, so here's something else I'm very interested in. They provided this little stainless steel dog tag. It is extremely hard to engrave metal with a diode laser. They just really like the power. But this one, supposedly, if you go slow enough, can engrave stainless steel. So that's a neat little dog tag. Let's see if it'll do that. I'm very curious about this because I'm thinking of things like stainless steel tumblers, signs, gifts. That'd be awesome if this diode laser will do that. So let me throw a little small design on there. Let's just do a quick telephone number. All right, here we go. So very, very impressive. It actually engraved stainless steel, and quite well, mind you. Can't really feel anything, but it is in there. That is awesome. Okay, so let's discuss probably the most exciting part of all of this, the new RA2 rotary right here. And I'll be honest with you, to keep this video from going on so long, we're just kind of playing and learning with this thing right now. I'm probably going to do a dedicated video just on the rotary and all the other materials that you can etch and cut. So Xtool has had a rotary out for a while, so long story short, it kind of looks like this right here. And what a rotary does, you can put a cup in there and it'll actually spin and rotate it around while the laser's running. They connect together and communicate together. The problem is, the issue you have with rotary is you can't have something that's got an odd shape to it. It needs to be perfectly flattened. Let's just face it, a lot of the stuff is not like that. Now they do make an awesome end piece right here that goes up and down and has rollers on it. So if I wanted to put, say, a cup in, I could rotate that up and down. You put this nice little provided level on there, and you get the area that you're going to engrave perfectly level. Because again, a diode laser is a focused beam laser, so it has to be the exact distance all the time from what you're engraving, or your pattern's going to be off. So you have to take an odd shape and make it level. Now the issue with doing some of this sometimes is things tend to want to walk on you. There's odd shapes, odd things to grip out there that a rotary may not work on. This is where their new chuck design comes in, and this is so cool. So what if you have a beer mug like this with a handle on it? And by the way, I've coated it in a material that will allow a diode laser to etch glass. Well, if I put that in there, the handle's in the way. This can't rotate around. This is where their chuck comes into play. So it actually attaches to this unit, left or right. You can put a piece in here, a gear that actually connect a belt to this. And now, look what you can do. I can put the chuck on the inside of something. I can put the chuck on the outside and clamp down on something, and it holds it and rotates it. Think of all the cylindrical items or odd shaped items that you can do. So the chuck comes with all these different jaws. I happen to have two on right now, the larger jaws. It also comes with, this is quite neat right here, just little screw in fingers is what I call them. So you remove these screws, take these holders off and you can actually screw these in. So now you can get down to fine little things. You can hold a wedding ring and engrave a wedding ring. This will expand out, hold something from the inside, or it'll clamp down and hold. So now you can engrave very small detailed things or jewelry. Like, they've thought of everything with this. This chuck is absolutely endless on what all it would hold. Woo, gotta get this fan on. I'm sweating. Supposed to be 110 on the heat index today. It's already miserable in here. So let's do a couple of items real quick. I tell you what, because this video is probably running long, I'm gonna do a whole nother one on etching glass, some tumblers, all kinds of stuff. So we'll get into that. But let's go ahead and start out with an old tumbler that I have, see if we can etch a design in the stainless. I'm very curious about that. I can see a lot of people using a laser for custom engraved tumblers. We all use them. Then let's pop the chuck on, and I want to try to engrave something that is so tiny. If it works, it'll blow your mind and my mind on how detailed this thing can get. So I should mention anytime you want to engrave with this rotary, so take a look at this for example. Well, now the laser cannot go up high enough above that. They sell new screw-on legs that can actually be attached to each other, or you can use a single one. Now I can lift this whole machine up. It screws right into the bottom of these feet right here. Just take out these rubber caps. And actually, I'm about to go around and do that. The other thing that I did want to mention about this rotary, you just can't tell. Like, this is why I want to do a whole episode just on it. It is so modular. You can take these rollers out, all these different adjustments. You can pull them in tighter. So if you want to roll something that's even smaller, you can see all the different adjustments in here. Again, that chuck that'll hold everything. I've just never seen one, especially with a chuck, that opens up so much possibilities on what you can grab a hold of, spin around. Coffee mugs with handles, odd shape, baseball bats. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach the chuck, and we'll use it on a couple different items here. So as far as these rollers go, you can remove some screws straight out of the bottom. Again, you can set this up for all different kinds of items. Now, you can take that roller right out, and I do want to mention there is a set screw down here on this roller. You've got to loosen this in order to take the roller off, and make sure you tighten that back. There's two of them before you go to use this again. Otherwise, this roller will not be activated and spinning, and you'll be wondering what the heck is going on. So now I can put the chuck on here and it's clear. But for any reason this plate be in the way, here's the beauty of this. You can actually spin this chuck all the way around. And I guess you could spin the motor around in order to put the little belt gear on the other side. I've seen plenty of people do that. You may just have to put a counterweight on this side. Now you can do something that's really long out here in the air. Plus, if it's a really big item, well, just put this elevated up on top of something. Now you can see how big of an item you can hold over here. Forgot to mention this kit also comes with a little device you can slide in down here, go all the way up. As you can see, it's got a rotating cup in, so if you want to put something like, say, a Christmas ornament in there, something that's domed, a baseball, you can slide that in and actually work a baseball and engrave that. I mean, the possibilities are endless with all you can do with this. This is why I can't show all this in one episode. I've got so many things planned for this. So now if I want to do a big tumbler like this one's full of drink, by the way. I can put it in the end, clamp it on it, and look, you got this nice big flat surface. You can actually laser engrave it just like this one was done. So now we can put all different kinds of items in here. These chuck attachments are like a strong, grippy rubber. They hold stuff very well, and you can still position it around a little before you clamp it all the way down. Just trying to see how level everything is. Now here's another good tip I've seen on a lot of other channels. Put some blue painter's tape on this, especially since this is my first time ever engraving a cup, and you can run your design on a much lower power setting on the laser. It'll engrave into the tape, and you can see if you need to make any adjustments before you actually engrave into your tumbler. Now there's a cable that's provided that hooks right up to the circuit board here. Underneath, this end plugs into the rotary. It is that simple. There is a cylinder working button right here on this Laser Box Basic. Very easy to find once you hit the play after you've drug your design in. And now I can do some quick framing and start setting all this up. All right, so I just went and cut the lights off because there was so much glare shining back on the stainless mug, but check that out. This will actually engrave stainless, and I went a bit fast. I think if I were to slow down, I can get that even darker. That took about 17 minutes to do. I think I will slow it down and go about twice that long. That's awesome. This has enough power to actually darken stainless. All right, you want to see something quite amazing? I have a pencil. Now, I don't have the right chuck attachments here, but they still clamp down on it perfectly. And I've been playing with this for a minute, from the smallest font that you could possibly imagine to some medium-sized font right here. So let's carve a word into this. I can't believe that this chuck attachment can get so small and so precise that it can carve something as small as a pencil. So let me set this up. So I've carved several strip times. You can't even see how small that is. That says amazing. I can actually read that by eye. That's about as small of a print as I can get. And then I did a larger print. I don't know how well the light is showing it off, but it's nice and deeply engraved. Looks awesome. All right, so what an experience this has been. I have thoroughly enjoyed learning this, and like I said, learning. I am still in the process figuring out all the features available on this Xtool D1. I also forgot to mention the bed where it can engrave is around 16 by 17 inches, so you have a relatively large work area. And if you'll pay attention to Xtool, they are constantly releasing updates and products for this. I do love that. From the new rotaries, I'm seeing there's a new extended bed now that you can add to this machine. They're constantly coming out with cool new inventions. So like I said, to keep from making this video so long, this is an introduction. I feel this machine deserves several more videos, and it's going to get used on the channel, not just for making little knickknacks and small things like we did today. That was testing and learning more than anything else. It's going to get used to help build furniture and true decor for our house. I'm really looking forward to that, along with doing fun things like gifts, tumblers for friends, Christmas gifts, things like that. All right, so some of the little things I tested and played with. Burning in some wood, some nice detailed pieces. Look at this right here that I just made. Look at the detail right there. That is absolutely amazing. Look at the shading. This is a very, very precise laser. So I also engraved some leather. You can see how detailed and fine that gets right there. The lighter leather definitely looks better than the darker. By the way, you can cut leather with this as well. It'll engrave stainless steel. I'm very excited about that. As far as the tumblers go, I think I'm gonna stick with painted tumblers. So I went outside, painted a piece of metal, and quickly engraved a design into that and burnt the paint away. I love the detail and how good that looks. And you can buy bulk tumblers online from, say, Amazon. I think these are gonna make some awesome gifts. I also was playing with an old cutting board that's all scratched up, made a cheat sheet on it. You can do all kinds of cool little gifts just like this. So coming up, I've got some different types of plywood on the way where we can do some cutting and engraving. I have some acrylic on the way. This machine will also engrave and cut acrylic. I'm excited to try that. There's just a whole slew of other materials out there. So we'll do another episode. I want to get into testing and engraving some glass, from wine glasses to mugs, but I really want to get to practicing on glass, which is kind of hard to do with a diode laser, but there's things out there that make it very possible, because whenever we start doing some custom built furniture inside, I'm thinking glass, coffee table top, things like that. I would love to etch and have designs in that as well. So one other cool feature I forgot to mention about this, they have an app for your phone. You can actually hook your phone up to this and engrave straight off of your phone. Now, it's a very basic app. I prefer the computer one, but if you have a picture or a file on your phone and you just want to quickly and wirelessly send over and engrave off this machine, you can do that as well. That's another very neat feature. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, links are down in the description. By all means, check them out. I know some of y'all have been waiting and asking about it, and I've got a bunch more laser episodes coming. I want to learn as much as I can and get as comfortable as I can with these machines before I start getting into some really nice custom built furniture in the house. I want to be confident and ready for the things that I'm going to do on that kind of stuff. So thank you, Xtool, for sending this out to test. FYI for y'all, I don't get paid for these reviews. I get asked by a company like this, would you like to test and try our product? It's as simple as that. I'm allowed to leave whatever review that I would like based on how the machine works, and I'm really enjoying this. But we do appreciate them sending this out because it is going to get some legitimate use on the channel. And thank y'all so much for watching. Ask any questions that you'd like. That's what the comment section's for. Catch y'all in the next video.